Hello. Are you looking for a freeze-proof chicken watering device? Something that doesn't take very much electricity to run? Something that you can make yourself with mostly salvaged materials? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make one and how it works, and I think you're going to like it. Let's get to work. All right, so how much electricity is this thing going to take? Well, I found that in my area, 7 watts is enough. I have a range from 72 to 4 watts right here that I'm going to show you with the thermal camera. And you might even be able to get away with putting yours on a timer, so you're even decreasing the amount of energy that you're using. So this one here is a incandescent bulb, and it's putting out about 220 degrees of heat. This is too much. It's 72 watts. It's too much for me in my area. This one, it's about 150 degrees or so. It's also too much at 14 watts. And this one is 7 watts, and this is the one that I'm going to use. It's a little LED light, and it's putting out about 120 degrees. This one also is 7 watts. It has a hot spot. It's a compact fluorescent, and it is at 140 degrees on that hot spot. Here, and it's only a 4 watt, not quite hot enough. So this is the one that I like. So how is 7 watts going to keep your chicken's water liquid? Insulation. Yeah, that's right, some insulation. This stuff will keep the heat in and decrease the amount of energy that you have to put in, and keep the water liquid for your chicken. So just collect some packaging insulation. Different types will work. This kind of stuff is a little bit harder to work with and kind of messy. The other thing that you're going to need is Mylar style packaging. So stuff that has a reflective surface, silver, and that's what you want, is the silver. These coffee bags are perfect as well. Don't need this little vent. It's just going to take up space. Cut that out. Little water dispensers that the chickens will actually drink from. I recommend the old style with the little valve that has a switch that they peck at. This is where the valve is, so as long as you can keep the water liquid up to this area, then the chickens will be able to get their liquid water. The other thing that you're going to need is some wood. I'm just using some slats that I cut out of an old crib that I found along the side of the road, and you can use any wood. If it's long and narrow, it will be easier to work with. You need 2 buckets, one with a lid. So you're also going to need a couple of pieces of plywood or something like these trays that will go on the top and the bottom of buckets. You're also going to need a variety of tape, a couple of fasteners, and just tools and so forth. The bottom bucket is nothing but a stand. It's going to hold the light, and it's going to hold the water up. One of the first things that you need to do is cut a hole for the light and mark the bottom of the other bucket. I use pop rivets to hold it to these trays. Then using a hole saw, I cut the openings of where the little water cups are going to go. This inner bucket is the one that's going to hold the water. I have to drill the holes for the water cups, and I want them up just high enough that I can get the lock nuts on in the back side. Now I'm preparing to line the inside of the bottom bucket, the stand bucket, with the silver packaging material. This will reflect all of the heat from the light into the water. Got to cut open the little areas for the water cups to go through. And then I'm just making sure I can get the light in, cut a hole for the cord for the light. I'm wrapping the light bulb in some aluminum foil, and that's going to also help reflect that heat up and disperse any heat from the plastic. It only gets 120 degrees, so I'm not too worried about it. Now you can see the light only coming through the holes where the water cups are. That's going to conduct some of that heat down into those water cups, making sure that they stay liquidy. You know, there is a limit to this, obviously, and if it gets too cold, they will freeze, like anything. But this works, you know, in moderate cold climates. These are pieces that are just going to be spacers along the bottom because of that kind of flangey quality at the top of the bucket. I need a little spacer down there to kind of hold things out. Now I'm covering the entire bucket containers with this silvery bubble wrap, cutting holes for those water cups, and those are going to be the only way for anything to get out is going to be right around those, but that's where we do want some heat escaping, again, to keep those liquid. I also don't want any light escaping because it's going to throw off the natural rhythms of my chickens, the sun and the seasons. This is going to create a little opening for these wood pieces that I'm going to go completely around the outside with. The wood is important because the chickens will peck at the silvery quality. They'll peck at pretty much anything they can. So the wood will protect that insulation from the curious chickens just sitting there pecking at it. And once I get them on there with the packaging tape, I'm using some high quality duct tape to hold them on. Now it's ready to fill it up with some water. It's really nice that you can just set this thing down. You can even just put the hose in and walk away. And then when you're carrying it, the one side is smooth, so you don't hit your leg on any of the water cups. Putting it into the coop, got to put some insulation on the top because, you know, heat rises. And I also have to put some weights on there to make sure that the chickens don't knock the top off. Only use a GFI for anything that's outside because you don't want to have any problems with electrocution or shocking or anything like that. All right, so it's only about 27 degrees out here, and you can see these guys are frozen up solid. This is the salt water in a bottle. The water in the bottle is liquid, but the water in the pan is solid. So this just doesn't work. Don't waste your salt on that. Let's run into the coop real quick, and we're gonna check our antifreeze water in here. And whoa, picture. Hello, girl. Okay, so what we got in here? We've got liquid. This is all liquid water. So all these are liquid, which is where those chickens got their drink from this morning, and that's what's important, right? So they can do what they need to do, get in here and make their eggs and live their happy chicken lives. It's really nice to know that they can have their water in their morning and not have it frozen. Sometimes we get busy in the morning, we might be gone for a couple of days, and I think the very best way is just to carry them a bucket. But if we are gone, it's nice to know that they have water. If you're interested in the coop design, check out my video here. Thanks for watching, and good luck with all your greenhouse gas reduction projects.